Food is one of the most essential things we need in order to survive. It's produced from sea to shining sea and everywhere in between. From the farm to our table, food comes in many sizes, shapes, colors, and smells. But it's how these foods are grown and produced that makes all the difference. We as a society have lost touch with where our food is made and how far it travels before it enters our bodies. Our story takes place in a small college town named Alfred. Nestled in the hills of Allegheny County, New York, Alfred is like many small towns in America and offers your typical kinds of food, like your average diner, coffee shop, pizza place, and sandwich shops. But there's one unique place, unlike no other in Alfred. In a little cozy avocado green house on the main drag of town lies Nana's Japanese Cafe. Nana has been serving up authentic Japanese food that her mother used to cook for her when she was a child.
Looks good. How does your native culture kind of influence the food and like a variety that you chose to serve?
Because I grew up with that kind of food, so
It was just
Japanese, yeah.
it was right. It was what your parents cooked.
Yeah.
And it's kind of what you've grown up to.
Yes, yeah,
So, oh.
yeah, and lots of with vegetables.
Oh, lots of vegetables. So what exactly was it that made you decide to open your own cafe?
Oh, when we're here, from Long Island, Long Island, even the suburbs has a lot of the restaurants around the school, university. And when we came here, cute main street, and I liked it. It's so cute. But we found, family American style restaurant and pizza at time. The corner where now it's a Chinese restaurant was pizza
Yeah.
restaurant, and pizza and American food and Chinese opened and closed very quickly. So no diversity at that time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I was kind of surprised, because the university, around the university, always has lots of,
Diverse food.
Food, and so.
It's a great opportunity for culture.
So I thought, well, should have more choice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I waited until my sons graduated. And one day I walked through there and I saw the empty, for rent sign. That's what it started.
And it all sparked then.
Yeah, okay, kind of mom's cooking, cook for the family and children, and with vegetables.
Using the freshest ingredients she can get her hands on, she prepares an assortment of dishes that contain some of the most important nutrients we can obtain from food. When I first encountered Nana's, remembering what my mother had always told me when I was a child, that you just have to get out there and see the world for yourself. You have to step into someone else's shoes and eat the foods that they do before you can understand them and even yourself. So on that very first day, when I walked into that quaint cafe, I knew I was in for something extraordinary. I tried the chicken bento special of the day, which happened to be teriyaki, not sure what was expected to come, using my own personal endeavors to predict this outcome. I was blown away by the assortment of vegetables and incredibly wide range of flavors that the dish contained. I walked in that very day with an open mind and left with a happily filled stomach that kept me coming back for more.
She's making the pickles, cabbage pickles. Everything is homemade.
As the rest of that day went on, I felt good about what I had eaten, and that experience had stuck with me from that point on. Thinking to myself, finally, could I have found some kind of food that reminded me of my mother's cooking so far from home? From that day on, I decided to look into what it was that was making me feel so good. And as I soon realized, that it was all being done in the same manner that I had come to know for the first 20 years of my life. Using fresh organic ingredients that are grown locally and family tradition to influence the style of cooking. Nana shared the same spirit that had been instilled in my mother and later on me. It was all being done the same way that my mother had taught me my whole entire life.
Kind of what got me interested is kind of I grew up on a small farm, and then it ended up closing with some economical hardships and whatnot. But my mother, even while she was doing a lot of odd jobs, she still kind of took to growing things, flowers, vegetables, and whatnot. So she's, in the recent years, since about high school or so, she's started growing her own organic vegetable gardens. And so she's been doing a CSA program, which is a community supported agriculture.
That's wonderful.
So
Yeah.
I've got a really big influence on eating right, eating organic, and knowing where the food comes from, and being kind of in touch with the food that you're eating, because it has a big effect on you. It
Yes.
affects how you feel. I mean, I don't know, because over the years, I'm just from growing up thinking, there's McDonald's. It was always kind of like, let's stop there. And when I got older, I realized what was going on and how the food is produced. And I feel like there's period of time where we were kind of just doing excess. We were creating all this food and whatnot. And then, of course, the problem with food security and making sure that we can grow the crops all the time, no matter what. And it just kind of turned into this big animal. And all of a sudden, we've gotten to the point where we don't know what's going on with our food.
Right.
And it was almost like it happened overnight. Like all of a sudden one day it was like it's bad to eat where you've always eaten before. So I think it's an interesting thing that for people nowadays to actually be making these choices. And cooking
now,
organically.
more available, so the people have choices. So that is good. Before wasn't.
And then my mother always.
The food, nothing like what you could get on campus, had its own particular flair. This flair was the contribution of a wide range of components that made these dishes whole. From the sweet glaze of the teriyaki chicken, to the sour bite of the pickled cabbage, or even the wonk-stirred vegetables with an almost buttery flavor. There was an unlimited palette of flavors for you to dive into and enjoy. Made with the simple ingredients that are very commonly found in America, Nana crafts up some of the most decadent of flavors. As I soon realized, the moment I stepped foot into the kitchen, that there was much more than great food being prepared here. Nana, taking huge strides in training her staff the same way that she had been taught long ago. She provides each student with their own lifelong lesson of knowing how to prepare their food, and even in a culturally diverse way.
I imagine you've gone through a lot of help, a lot of student help and whatnot. How does that affect you? Kind of knowing that you're potentially hiring somebody that is one day might not be around anymore.
Yeah. It's wonderful experience to work with the young people, and also I know they'll be gone. They are leaving after 2 years. So but it's every year it happens. So it's okay, and it's just a wonderful experience for me too.
Yeah, I bet you've learned to kind of deal with that in a way. I bet you've seen a lot of these people change over the course of a year or however long that they work for you. Do you feel that you've kind of helped influence that?
I think so. I mean, I do. They grow they are growing,
Uh-huh.
and only 2 years or so, they are. I can see it. Probably they don't see themselves, that
Yeah.
way, but I can see that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and more responsible, or for example, come on time, or and so freshman and the senior is different.
Oh,
Yeah, even the same person, and totally different.
Different
Well,
personality.
yeah,
Different
well,
outlooks on
well,
life.
probably discipline they do by themselves.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
The close knit group of students contained the spirit of what you would consider today's modern family. Overall, there are long lasting memories that will be ingrained in everyone for years to come. Nana pays extra to ensure her trash doesn't make a larger impact than she does.
yeah, and also the environment. I don't want to use styrofoam. Some are styrofoam. I'm using but much less, and those take out is biodegradable, and I have to pay more, but I don't care. I pay more, for the long term, like environment, good environment.
Really?
My son and the grandchildren,
With every day that there becomes an awareness about eating healthy, Nana feels she's doing her part and making a difference in the world, even if it is in small strides.
Well, money, society.
Oh, yeah.
Money can buy this and this.
It's all about knowing what you're leaving behind.
Yeah, right? Next generation, your generation, next of yours, yeah, so we have to think about that. Just add a little more money, maybe can make a little change, Yeah. So many, which I don't know the words, some chemicals,
Oh, yeah.
some product. So we all read, what is this? There's sometimes scary, so many in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
There's something that a lot
so
of
we
them
don't
you
want to
can
use this and use that, more simple one. Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Very good.
With how much the food we eat influences our lives, we all should have a stronger connection with the things that we ingest. Even though we all live a complex lifestyle that at times we must fall back on the convenience of pre-made foods, we should take pride in knowing how and where our food is coming from.
Not special, just ordinary. Maybe 50 years ago, I think American people ate much better than now, No, yeah. Because just real food,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
not
And
processed food, yeah.
there was definitely more of a domestic front.
Yeah.
Everybody was cooking food
Mhm.
at home.
Mhm.
Now it's all about ease. It's all about
Yeah.
how I can throw
Yeah.
something in the oven, I get home,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it'll be done in 10
Oh,
minutes.
yeah.
But in the end, it's the culturally diverse foods that are dramatically setting a precedent in what and how we eat today.